Hi, I'm Tio Fallon with Keys Coffee. Thank you to Leaderboard for selecting us, and thank you to the folks participating in the Leaderboard competition for trying our coffee this season. Hope that you found it to be interesting, unpredictable, and if you got any of the entries correct, kudos to you. We intended for this coffee to be tricky. So what you have is a natural processed coffee, a Catimor from the South Kivu region of the Democratic Republic of Congo. For me, it was very unique. Not only that it was a natural process, but also a Catimor. At first glance, you see a lot of different like variations in the bean size, shape, but you can also naturally see, in the green coffee that it probably is a natural process. Anyhow, interested to see what you guys think. I will be talking to Jim with Mighty Peace. He's one of the co-founders of Mighty Peace, and wanted to bring him on just so you guys could learn more about Mighty Peace and their initiatives in the Congo, as well as learn more about the coffee. So thank you, and cheers. This particular season, we wanted to try something fun, unique, and interesting to kind of like, throw people off a little bit. And I figured the Tamu Natural that you guys offer would be that type of coffee, because I know me personally, I hadn't had previous experience with like natural processed Congolese coffee. And I also thought this was interesting because like it's a catamore, which there's like stigmas about that, but our mission in life should be to subvert like biases and stigmas, and just like be able to just say, hey, like I can present to you a coffee that some people have certain preconceived notions about, but you be the judge of it. Like in a blind taste test, stack this up against other coffees, and what do you think? So, with that said, wanted to bring you on to talk to the audience about Mighty Peace and about like the Tamu Natural.
Absolutely. So Mighty Peace Coffee, again, we're a social impact importer focusing on the Democratic Republic of Congo, which I call Congo for short. And it's Central Africa. It's actually where I'm from originally. But the country is so big that, parts of the country is actually considered Eastern Africa, but the rest considered Central and Western Africa. So it's Africa's second biggest country in terms of land mass and population. We're top five. Um, Again, I don't think you care about the the demographic and the geographic details as much as I do, but let's kind of give you a context of how big it is and really where the coffee comes from at the moment. And a Mighty Peace Coffee, the name Mighty Peace really comes from our belief that coffee can be a vehicle for peace in these regions. Our coffee right now comes from the North and South Kivu provinces. For the most part, are post-conflict zones. And there are still pockets of violence here and there, but for the most part, we can say that it's a safe place to operate, and we've been able to operate there safely for the past few years since we started in 2018. And there are other regions in Congo we would like to get coffee from. We know the coffee is good, but from a safety and security standpoint, it's not quite under control yet. So it's on the long term, it's definitely part of our plans. But as of now, our coffee comes from North and South Kivu. And I mentioned I'm of Congolese descent, and I've always wanted to. I'm a Congolese immigrant, and I've always wanted to find a way to work in a business that made an impact in my country. When I came to America, and when I was 17, 18 years later, in between, I've went to college in Philadelphia, worked in marketing for different corporations, but I always also did work on the side as a pro bono consultant pertaining to African business, because I really feel like business can be a catalyst for growth across the continent. And because I'm
Mm-hmm.
from Congo, I wanted to focus on Congo specifically. And the way we believe this can work is by basically helping coffee producers produce very high quality coffee, understand soil health and agronomy challenges that they may not know about and may not have learned about, help them improve the quality, get to certain points, and then import it into the US. So basically provide a new market for Congolese coffee farmers, which oftentimes are forgotten when it comes to coffee supply and coffee demand. Many people don't know where Congo is that it has coffee. So with Mighty Peace Coffee, we're hoping to slowly change that, and by doing that, we'll create opportunities for coffee farmers and communities in Congo. And because of that income that they'll generate through coffee sales, we believe that that stability will bring development and lasting peace. Because back to the conflict I briefly mentioned, the conflict is due to extreme poverty. And we believe that, by creating jobs, by reducing poverty, we'll be able to ensure that that peace lasts over the short and long term.
But
So it's
coffee has a direct impact on that, what's happening in that area, in those regions.
absolutely, it definitely does. It definitely does. And right now, and the way it does is because it's basically it's access to money, foreign exchange. A lot of times people say, how can you help these situations? People don't want charity. Again, charity helps. There are some nonprofits doing great work, but really, when you're able to work and be rewarded fairly for that work, that makes a major difference. So that's really what we want to do, to be able to show that there are ways to earn a decent living in coffee. And beyond supporting coffee farmers, we're also working on initiatives to upskill the community. So we have more agronomists, more Q graders in Congo that are, further up the supply chain. Because as we know, even though we were proud to pay farmers, way above fair trade, we also understand that there's a cap to how much a farmer can make, whether it's Congolese or American. That's why we want to do some upskilling. So again, whether there's more agronomists, more accountants, more Q graders, there's different scale positions across the value chain that hires Congolese people.
That makes sense. Tell me about the Lake Kivu region. If I'm not mistaken, that's considered like the African Great Lakes region. What's so special about North and South Kivu, the terrain? What's so special about that region that you find these beautifully put together coffees that come from there?
Definitely the volcanic soil. And actually, there was a major volcanic eruption last May, May 2021, that affected us directly. Some of the producers we work with had to temporarily evacuate and things like that. Thankfully, none of our team members lost their lives. But basically, when I talk about volcanic soil, there's actually an active volcano not too far from there, which sometimes has real life consequences. And before last year's eruption, the last time it erupted was 20 years before that. So to answer your question, the volcanic soil and the elevation definitely plays a big part. So it goes up to slightly above 2,000 meters above sea level, and we know that high elevation is really provides a good climate for high quality specialty coffee. So I think the high elevation, the volcanic soil, and the proximity to the lake, I think that the combination of the weather, the lake, the volcanic soil, they all combine to really provide create the environment for really high quality coffee. Yeah.
And tell me, so for instance, like the Tamu, this particular coffee, I believe it's new to you guys' program. This is the first time you guys imported Tamu into the States. Tell me about the farmers that you partner with for that, and how that relationship about, or how it came about. Again, like selecting this process Congolese coffee, because again, to me, like this is like a first time. Like I had only with like watch coffee up to this point, coming from that area. So how did you guys arrive on this?
Yeah, and the first step really was we have our team in Congo, Linda, and even before Mighty Peace Coffee, she was very well networked in the coffee space. Coffee farmers, cooperatives often reach out to her to let her know what they're working on and things like that, and she helps guide them until they're able to get to a certain point where she believes that they're ready to basically meet the standards of international buyers, like American buyers, for example. But the way that happened specifically, Linda had actually been talking to them for a couple of years. But the quality just hadn't been there, but she had worked with them to really help improve the quality since we started. And last year, we were confident that it got to a certain level. And the reason why it's rare to have natural coffee in Congo specifically is that the feedback from that particular community of farmers is that basically in the past, other buyers have asked for like natural coffees, but they had like a sudden change of heart. So it's like, it can be a risky proposition, right? Like I think natural coffee, either it tastes really good or it probably tastes really bad.
Yeah.
It's hard to find the in between. And a lot of other cooperatives in Congo, like they feel like they've been burned by international community asking for quote unquote fancy processing, whether it's natural honey or really any other non-traditional, anything that's not fully washed, where they'll ask for these things like a sample, but then like cancel an order. a lot of times you basically leave literally the farmers with the, holding the bag, and it's like missing out on, let's say, $10,000, $20,000 is a major impact, anywhere, but particularly in these regions where the living wage is lower than it is in America, right? So missing out on $10,000 for a Congolese farmer is different than missing out for $10,000 if you're a coffee importer or roaster in America, right? So they felt like they've been left holding the bag too many times. So there's a lot of reticence to try anything like natural or other processing methods. But because of that trust they had with us, we're like, look, no matter what, even if they don't match what we thought initially, we know you're trying. We know there's not any ill intent to produce like bad coffee, and we know it's an agricultural product, right? There's only so much you can control. So we're committing, no matter what, we're taking those 100 bags of natural coffee. So I think because that trust with Linda being there and hearing our word that there wouldn't be a situation where we just leave them hanging.
Yeah.
That's when they were willing to do that. And actually, we pretty much doubled the order for this year. So last year we had 50 bags. This year we're bringing 100 naturals. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So I hope we'll get some more.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's great, man. It's like I said, I wanted to kind of utilize this opportunity to not only just feature ourselves as like a roaster, but to also feature the importer. And I think the initiative that you guys have and take into building a sustainable model in the Congo or Democratic Republic of Congo is something that I think it should be promoted. And so that's why for folks listening, if you want to learn more about Mighty Peace, Jim, how can they find you guys, either social media or web or whatnot?
definitely. So our website is mightypeacecoffee.com. On Instagram, we're at mightypeacegram. And if you're in Texas and you'd like to know more, or anywhere really, you can check out Three Keys. They've been carrying us, for a couple of years now. So if you want to try Mighty Peace, you get some from Three Keys. Yeah, a partner we definitely love working with.
Thank you. Well, cool, man. Well, I appreciate your time, Jim. Look forward to continue to work with you guys. Definitely, we're definitely supportive of what you have going on, and for the foreseeable future, we'll continue to source our Congolese coffee from Mighty Peace. So thanks, Jim.
Much appreciated. Take care.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.